10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Should we all be counting down?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
They say start as you mean to go on, and as that clip shows, I started 2023 phenomenally underprepared. Welcome everyone to the Pretentious Monthly Scrapbook. I am Dan Layton, your conductor for this evening. Please keep all arms and legs inside the vlog at all times. The Pretentious Monthly Scrapbook, PMS if you're nasty, is my monthly vlog, which has been in hibernation for 5 long years, but we're back now! I'm a little older, I'm a little wiser, but we'll deal with that later, because first I must tell you, I had such plans for New Year's Eve. Usually I host a party, but I thought I'd take a year off, and I got invited to 3 different parties, and I thought, well, instead of choosing, why not go to them all? Also, all 3 of these parties were in East London, so they were relatively close together. It couldn't be more perfect, in theory. It started off quite well. My friend and I went to see When Harry Met Sally at the Prince Charles in Leicester Square, and then she was going to party 1, so I thought, okay, great, we can go together. When I say the wheels fell off the plan instantly, the key problem with my grand party hopping plan, which I didn't reckon with until I was pretty deep in it, was that New Year's Eve is the only night on the social calendar with a deadline. I knew where I wanted to be for the big midnight countdown, so it was just a case of working backwards from there. Problem was, by the time we'd hunted around and got some food and arrived at party 1, it was already 10 PM. The journey between party 1 and party 2 was about 45 minutes, and parties 2 and 3 were just a short bus ride away, but the regularity of those buses on New Year's Eve was not guaranteed. So after spending quite literally 20 minutes at party 1, I downed my tin and legged it through Canary Wharf, which was fun because I did get to judge everyone's outfits on the tube. So I'm on the bus at a red light, and I realised that if I have any chance of getting to party 3 in time for midnight, party 2 is going to have to get bumped. So I'm sorry, party 2. It is your fault for being fancy dressed. I don't play that. Don't worry, I made it to party 3 at about 11:30, enough time to get settled, have a drink, and be ready for the countdown. But even that went wobbly. We decided to put Jules Holland on the telly in time for the big moment, but we're, you know, millennials, we're young people, so we don't watch telly, we stream it through iPlayer, and iPlayer is on about a minute's delay, which again, doesn't really matter on any night, but New Year's Eve. But we're nothing if not resourceful, so Chloe found the real time, and we started to get ready. Let me take you back to the clip, and I'll give you a full match of the day punditry of what's going on in my head, because there's me setting up the camera, all happy and cozy, and I'm vaguely aware of Chloe counting somewhere behind me, and there you can see me decide to join in, except not because it's on the way to midnight. I think I just thought counting was fun, apparently. And there it is. There's the moment that I realise what she's doing, and this is in fact the actual big moment and not a dress rehearsal. And that is the energy with which we started 2023.
It's a lot of sounds of fireworks, very few actual ones. There's one. You can sort of see they mean well.
Why did we all decide to start vlogging at the same time?
It's happened again.
Have we missed it?
We're back. We're back. No, there was one there. Go, quick.
We're gonna figure
It's a bit slapdash, but I quite liked it. Because a big blowout, like a grand party, is all fun and games, but every now and again a chill one's quite nice. And anyway, it's about old friends. Usually, at some point in January, all the grey, which is not like good grey, it's like bleak, heavy, weighted grey. Do you know what I mean? It all starts getting to me. And what I need to do is go back to the 90s, whack on a 90s soft rock playlist, and I'll just start cleaning. That usually happens mid to late January. It's happened early this year. Look, all right, I think this is some level of success. This is my first DIY project, so if this has gone well, the world is my oyster. Oh God, okay, that's a chair. That's a chair. Would you ever believe it? Would you ever believe it? So I got an espresso machine for my birthday, which I'm very excited about. It's very fun. I love coffee a lot. I did do barista training like years ago, so I can remember some of it, but not like all of it. And the espressos I'm making are like, they could be better. So I'm watching videos about how to do espressos, and I've got to James Hoffman, and this man has like an American Psycho display of like far too many things. Patrick Bateman's barista training. I'm now on a video of him at the World Barista Championships, which is hilarious that it's a thing. And like, look, I think this is objectively beautiful. Like, this is stunning. And this bit, look, he's steaming some milk, and these two with the clipboard in the background are staring at him like it's the most tense thing. He's just making a cappuccino. He's not trying to defuse the atomic bomb. I might just drink substandard coffee, to be honest with you, because it's a lot of effort. One good way of mitigating the January blues is to surround yourself with friends new and old. Let's start with the old. Lovely Tim H brought his first feature film over from LA for a little friends and family screening. Jacob has been doing more and more stand-up, and he's really good. honest.
You're not vlogging. Are you really
I'm
vlogging?
vlogging again, yeah.
What is it? 2012?
And that was his first joke of the evening.
It didn't go well, did it?
No, it did not.
Jack and Sammy still have opinions about films.
Avatar, The Way of Water.
Triangle.
They have shown up today.
And, well, I mean, you've seen the old gang at New Year. We mainly just sit around and watch TikToks on the telly with the dogs. And as I said, it's been a while since we saw each other in this context, so along with the old friends, we have some new.
Do I have to do anything?
No, just gonna wave at you.
Laurie works for an influencer marketing agency and she got in touch to have a little meeting once. Generally, I take meetings because at best, they might bring me money and at worst, someone pays for my coffee. But this was a good meeting and we got on quite well, and at the end of it, Laurie said, also, by the way, I've just moved to London and I'm looking for friends, which was bold and quite nice because it showed me that even in my 30s, I can make new friends. And then it turned out that she and her partner were my neighbours. This has its ups and downs. Benefit, someone is here to look after my plants when I go on holiday. Downside, my flat is between her flat and the tube when she's coming home drunk.
No, I'm going now. I'm not just for your entertainment.
I beg you. I'll see you tomorrow.
I've also been working a lot with Wrestle Talk, a channel that unsurprisingly talks about wrestling. Fun fact, my very first attempt at a YouTube channel was a WWE review show in 2009. I made 3 videos and posted none of them, so sitting down in the podcast studio with them is something of a full circle moment.
This is for my vlog. We're doing the stream.
Your vlog?
Yeah, I'm doing monthly vlogging again. So you're all in it, aren't you? This is the camera.
It's Shane O'Mac's best in the world!
I didn't know he was here.
We're about to approach the 8-hour mark.
Hello.
Of the stream.
That's friendship out of the way. Let's do love life. I have one now. It's long distance, which is a bit hard. She lives in darkest Wales. I don't hold it against her. I went to visit her for a weekend, which was really nice, except for the replacement bus service I had to get because of excessive flooding on the train lines. This is usually a field. It's in a town, ironically, called Welshpool. And that is all you're getting on that. It's a boundary I'm trying to work out. So in the meantime, for the future Dan who's using these as home videos, it was really nice to see her do the thing that she loves and get recognised for it, and I quite like her. Moving on! This morning, I was invited to a BAFTA event. It was the announcement for the nominees of the EE Rising Star Award, which is basically the BAFTA award for Best New Artist. It was a very fun event. I had a great time, and it's a great lineup this year as well. I think every one of them deserves a nomination, and it's exciting that they're getting it. But I realised this year, maybe it's because of age, I don't know, but I'm really feeling very much like someone who is standing outside the glass, like pressed against the window looking in at the film industry. Like a Dickensian child. I want to be inside of the big party, but I'm not quite allowed. And like someone comes out and is like, oh, doesn't it look fun? Isn't it really pretty? It's really exciting, isn't it? And I'm like, yeah, can I get involved? And they're like, no, that analogy doesn't fully work because I'm not really good at asking if I can get involved. I always see networking happen at these events and I literally stand in the corner with a cup of coffee, looking around, getting the content that I need to get, answering a question if I'm asked, but never directly being the person to go over and say hello. Networking just isn't in my DNA. I think I struggle with the idea of like a transactional relationship in any shape of my life. And really that's what networking is. It's encouraging you to forge relationships and talk to people with a goal of, you know, helping you in your career development. And like, that's just, I'm someone who just doesn't want to bother people. I want to get on and do my thing. And events like this just bring that into sharp relief because I would like to be able to like hustle for myself a little bit more and really put myself out there and get into people's inboxes and not be sorry to take up space. That's it. I'm sorry to take up so much space. I love going to the festivals and I love being involved in the film industry in this small way. And if little Dan could see me now, he'd think I was so fucking cool. But watching these 5 people get celebrated for their work and talking about their careers, I want to be in those chairs. And I know that I could do more and I could try harder. I'm that Bianca Del Rio clip. Like, let me ask myself a very fair question. What do I do successfully? Quickly. So that espresso machine I bought didn't really work properly. Like, it wouldn't pull coffee. Like, at one point, it didn't matter what, like, grind size I tried. I tried grinding my own. I tried going to shops. I tried buying pre-ground. And the whole point of buying it was to, like, save some money. And when it was like, you might want to buy a 400 quid grinder, not the vibe. So I am now left with loads of ground coffee. So I was Googling for recipes and I found one for cookies that uses ground coffee beans without needing to like extract them or anything like that. Just goes in with the dry ingredients. So we're giving that a go. I don't know if I trust it. In my head it'd be quite a sort of bitter note. But that said, I eat the beans that are put on my espresso martinis and I don't know if you're supposed to do that. I quite like it. So who knows? I'll report back. I've got some in already. There's some more there. Not gonna lie. Did you smell a bit of fish food?
Okay, there they are. I mean, they don't look bad.
I then took the cookies to my Wrestle Talk friends' house to watch the Royal Rumble, and we liked them, and I forgot to film it, and that was January. I used to end these videos with a little monologue trying to wrap everything up and draw it all together, and my inclination is to do that like it's muscle memory. However, when I look back on those videos now, I feel two things. One is that kind of nostalgic comfort, that joy, that is like home video vibes. Like, oh, I missed that flat, wasn't that nice? Or, oh, Waterstones. But I also see myself papering over cracks, trying to protect everyone at the expense of myself and sort of shoehorning positive messages in, even when I don't necessarily feel it, I guess in an attempt to convince myself. I feel very distant from that person now. I think because I've done a lot of work on myself to recognize the bad habits that I have, essentially recognize my own shit. And when you understand yourself a little better, when you've unlocked this new level, it can be hard to look back at a version of yourself that doesn't have those tools yet, especially while I'm still coming to terms with the things that I've learned and how that makes me reflect on my life and the energies that I allow into my life. The most important thing to me in every aspect of my life is being on the level, like authenticity at all costs. It's probably why I find being a content creator such a difficult thing to navigate, because I feel like I've been to Oz and I've seen behind the curtain, but in order to continue to grow the channel and to like sustain a career, we sort of have to play the game and pretend the curtain's not really there and provide that suspension of disbelief and all of that stuff. And I don't know, it kind of messes with me a bit. And none of this is to say that I wasn't being authentic in my last batch of PMS. Actually, quite the opposite. I look back at that and I'm like, this is who you are. It's like a time capsule of my experience in my mid-20s. It captures my life in those moments perfectly, even though I can see through it. It's because I can see through it that I do think it's so authentic. Do you know what I mean? It's like I can see myself clearly, and that is a thing for which I am very grateful, but it's also a little bit uncomfortable. But this Dan, the Dan you see before you, is less trying to figure everything out and draw things together and search for that understanding and meaning, and instead is just trying to get on with it. So that's the mission statement. This has been January. Welcome back to my life. Let's get on with it.